Buongiorno beautiful people, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to show you exercises for the upper body using only a long resistance band. This is a very light resistance band, which I believe is also the cheapest option out of all the range of long resistance bands. So I just wanted to go ahead and do a complete lookout of all the exercises that you can do to target the upper body. So we're talking biceps, triceps, lats, shoulders, a little bit of back, all of them. So I really hope you like it. I really hope it's useful. I will just go ahead and go through all the types of exercises, and then I will leave in the description box below a sort of workout that you can do using these exercises I will just show you. So I really hope it is useful. If you like it, then please don't forget to give it a like and subscribe, because it helps my little tiny channel. And without further ado, let's get into the exercises. Right, so to start with, we can go ahead and start targeting the shoulders, which have the typical lateral raises, front raises, and shoulder press, which really does the movement of activating your shoulders, targeting them in various ways. So the first thing I usually do if I want to target shoulders is to take the long resistance band, step on it on a, let's say, shoulder width part, and then to go ahead with my palms looking down and my shoulders slightly rolled back and my lats engaged, which basically just means of scrunching up your back. You're going to go ahead and hold the band like this and raise it up more or less at the same height of your shoulder. It doesn't need to be that much higher, and just really make sure to be mindful of having my shoulders rolled back, my lats and my back really contracted, which just gives stability to my upper body without having to do this. So really tense, and just raise like this. And obviously it depends how hard your band is, so this is really easy. So I will go ahead and do anywhere between 10, 15 to 20 reps at a time. Then the next exercise is really similar, but it's a lateral one. So you can either step on two, depending how long it is, which is perfectly fine, or if you want to go ahead and step just on one foot in front of you, standing next to you, it really doesn't matter. As soon as this movement is really steady, again, maybe put your hand on your waist, put your shoulders back, scrunch up your back, and then go ahead and raise. And again, the main thing is to always put the palm looking down, the arm sort of straight but not too much, just a slight bend, and then again go up by really feeling like what you're moving up is the top of your hand, if it makes sense. So you're not going up with your elbow, you're not going out like this with your elbow, you just sort of be mindful as if everything is being driven by your the up of your hand going up. So you go ahead and like this. Again, you can do any range between 10 to 15 per side, and then you switch to the other side. Another great way to, again, target your shoulders, but slightly on the front side. So obviously the shoulder is not only one muscle, it has various areas. You can basically, again, step on your band, put your hands together looking down, and then be really mindful of not to put your elbows up or your shoulder up. Again, you put it backwards, you engage your back, and your front raise. Again, this is a movement where, in my case, for example, my shoulders start clicking, so you have to be really mindful of that. If it does so, just skip it, do something else, and then revise it whenever, if you feel more comfortable, because it might lead to different problems. So we're just gonna be mindful of that. You're gonna take the resistance band, you're gonna engage your back, and you're gonna lift up more or less to your chin, and then you be mindful to the elbows not be too high but not too low either. And you're gonna go up, and more or less on a horizontal line, just bring it up. And like this again, I will recommend it on a slightly more moderate but still high reps, so between 10 to 15 max. I wouldn't do more than 12, to be honest. And you just go ahead and you target your shoulders this way. Another way that you can target your shoulders is the typical shoulder press. Now, you could technically stand on your band, and with your feet slightly wider than your shoulder width, you can engage by putting your palms up so that the band literally just rests on your palms, and you're going to go 90 degrees just to situate the shoulders in position, and you're going to go ahead and press up, not too high, not with your elbows too bent. You're just going to go ahead very natural without locking, and then again you're going to go to 90 and press up, 90 and press up. And this movement is going to really simulate the same movement with the dumbbell, but if you don't have one at home or it's too heavy the one you have, then you can very much substitute it with this. Now if you have a slightly heavier resistance band and this feels more awkward, what I would say is that you can do exactly the same but just standing on your knees on the band. So you go down, you put your knees on top of the resistance band, again you're engaged 90 degrees, and then you proceed to shoulder press. Again, I just like to start at 90 just because my shoulders have this thing that they start clicking. So if I start like here, I just feel like my shoulder is clicking too much. Whereas if I go on 90 degrees and then shoulder press, it feels much better. And with this, we have finalized shoulders. Next, we can do our backs, for example. So what I really like to do is a bend over reverse flies when I used to have my dumbbells. So there are a few ways you can do this. The first way is to take the resistance band by each end, step more or less basically on the middle as much as you can. And you're going to maintain a straight back, so don't bend it but don't over arch it. You maintain a straight back, you put your shoulders slightly backwards, you engage the back muscles, you bend over, and then you proceed to fly. So if I go in this position, you will see it better. You just engage, put your shoulders back, stay sturdy, and then fly. And again, it doesn't need to be too high. If you have a lighter resistance band, then it's pretty easy to go up. If it's too heavy, what I usually used to do is step on the opposite foot. So let's imagine this is too heavy and I cannot hyperextend it. I just put my hand on my waist just to make it sturdy. And then I go ahead, bend forward, and use the resistance band on one side per time. And just doing just 12 to 15 reps at a time. And this is going to really target the side of your back. So the little tiny muscles that are in here. But then if you want to target more of your back, again, what you can do is step onto the band, but this time with both feet. Go again, I would say shoulder width. If you then bend your knees and you put your bust forward and you maintain a sort of neutral straight spine and you engage, what you can do is bend over rows. So here is must be very mindful of engaging this lats, this bit of your back. So if you really contract by putting your shoulder back and you really feel like you're contracting all the muscles, then when you do this, you're going to really feel it engaging here. So it does take a while to get used to it, but then once you do it, it's quite automatic. Just remember to always make your back sturdy, to have your shoulder back, and then you go ahead and you row between, I would say, even 20 reps per set. Another exercise I like to do for the lats, so what is the back, is that I double up the long resistance band, or if you have a short one, then go ahead and use that one. And I just put it around my thumbs, and then when I lie on the floor, I extend my arms forward, so in front of me. Again, I put my shoulders back as best as I can. I engage my back so that it just slightly lifts me up without being too lying down. So I just lift it up. I lift my arms up in the air, and then by tucking my chin forward so that I can have as much of a straight back as possible, I go ahead and do a sort of like a lat pull down that I used to do at the cable machine. So that really engages my lat. So basically I just tuck my chin, lift it from the floor so that the band can go underneath, and just go ahead and do around 30, I would say, yeah, 25 to 30 reps, and just really try to engage my lats. So basically this resistance band allows me to have a tension going outwards, which really simulates a weight being pulled down if I was on a cable machine, but obviously we are horizontally rather than a vertical traction down, and just this adds resistance and allows me to really engage my lats. So now that we're done with the back, what is left is triceps and biceps. The thing with biceps is that you can literally do it anywhere. You can put it around a chair, you can stand on the resistance band, and then by holding each side, you can go ahead and put your elbows slightly in, push your shoulders back straight, and then making sure that the elbow doesn't go anywhere, it stays in the place. You go ahead and curl. So what I mean by that is sometimes people might curl going forward when the weight is too heavy, which is not the correct form, but instead by basically trying to leave the elbow more or less in the same place rather than going forward and just curling up and then releasing, but still without just letting the arm go down. You just still put a pressure down to go slow, and then you go ahead and you curl, and then slowly you push down. That really engages your biceps. If you have again a heavier resistance band, usually what I do is maybe go around my foot a couple of times to make it slightly shorter, and then just put it on one foot down and do exactly the same and engage with that heavier, slightly shorter, obviously, resistance band. But if you have a light one like me and it's really long, you can just sit maybe even with one foot. You put your foot ahead of you and then engage, put the elbow down and just curl. If you have a sofa, that's the same thing. You can put one end underneath the leg of the sofa and just position yourself slightly forward, and with that dangling behind you, you go ahead and curl so that the pressure is not downwards but slightly on an angle behind you. That's the same thing that one could do in the cable machine, but again, it depends. My sofa is too light, so I will have my partner sitting on it because otherwise I literally drag my sofa around the house. But yeah, that's another thing that is really good. And again, biceps, it depends how strong you are, but you can still make it quite a tough exercise if you do a higher rep range, so anywhere between 15 and 20 per arm. And finally, we have triceps. If you have difficulties in terms of like not being able to put it on a door and just be able to do a tricep extension this way with the resistance band going around the door, that's completely fine. What I do is usually hold it a little bit before the end, depending how long your arms are. Hold it in front of me by still putting my shoulders back, engaging the muscles on my back, and then with this in front of me, I go ahead and place my elbow slightly behind me, and then without moving the elbow too much, I do a tricep extension, and again trying to resist going forward on the way back. So you just extend and then slowly go forward, and then extend and slowly go forward. And again, the range usually is around 15 reps per side. Again, if you don't have the problem of having a too light sofa, what you can do is put it underneath the sofa leg, position yourself in front, always one leg in front just to give you stability, and with this underneath the sofa leg, you again hold it maybe at the end if the sofa is really in front of you, or maybe slightly less, and just go ahead and tricep extend as much as you can, maintaining the elbow more or less in the same position as opposed to bringing it up or down, and just really engaging the tricep to move the arm as opposed to the whole arm going up and down. Another way that you could engage your triceps, which might be a little bit more difficult but is still really effective, is to put the resistance band behind you, hold it with the opposite arm, more or less halfway or a little bit more depending how long your resistance band is, and by really positioning this sturdy in one place, you go ahead with the other hand and you extend and down, and then extend your tricep, down, extend, down. So that's it. These are all the ways that you can target your complete upper body by using only one long resistance band. I hope it has been useful. These obviously are just some ideas on how to target them. I'm sure there are more ways of doing so online, so please go check it out any other site where they might have more innovative ways or more ways to use furniture or something else. I will make sure to leave a workout in the description box below with all the sets and reps and how I couple each exercise with another, so that you can have a complete workout where you only need to use one resistance band and you can target the full upper body. So please make sure to check it out, and if you try, then please let me know how you found it, if it was difficult, if there is any movement that you didn't quite understand or you didn't feel, so that maybe I can do another video going through it and do my best to help you solve any doubts or perhaps improve the mind-muscle connection that you have when targeting the upper body. So please make sure to let me know what you think, and hopefully I will see you next time. Ciao!